The winner of Miss North Carolina USA 2019 is Metrolina Cheslie Kryst. Your brand new Miss North Carolina USA 2019, Cheslie Kryst. And Eliza, come on out. We got to have the both to be out here. Let's hear it for our brand new Miss North Carolina USA and Team USA, Cheslie Kryst and Eliza Minor. You've been an awesome audience. We'll see you next year. Have a great night.
Cheslie Kryst, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Cheslie has both a Juris Doctor and MBA from Wake Forest University. This 28-year-old civil litigation attorney also does pro bono work to get reduced sentences for people who were imprisoned unjustly. North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Cheslie is a self-taught pianist and former Division I scholarship track and field athlete. In her spare time, this 28-year-old organizes photo shoots and writes articles for her fashion blog. North Carolina.
Hey everyone, my name is Cheslie Kryst. I'm Miss North Carolina USA.
Cheslie Kryst, North Carolina.
Still in the competition is North Carolina. Okay, again, be honest. Did you expect to make it to the top 15?
Well, I hoped so because my job, my law firm, is doing a watch party back at home and they've got a lot of food ready. So I was hoping that everybody had time to eat, so yes.
Congrats, North Carolina, thank you. Congrats. North Carolina.
North Carolina, oh, she got it. I love it. They have to get that sash off by the middle of the stage, and she did it. She is a Division I athlete, and she is bringing her competitive spirit. Health and athleticism are important to her, and it shows.
Moving one step closer to the crown is North Carolina. North Carolina.
Cheslie Kryst, North Carolina.
I love this dress that North Carolina chose, and she did a beautiful spin there that Lou taught her. Amazing. It's a simple gown that she wanted because she just wants to shine, and I think she is shining bright tonight. Joining her in the finals is North Carolina. North Carolina. North Carolina, come on down.
All right, North Carolina, your question comes from Massachusetts.
Congratulations, Cheslie.
Thank you.
So your question is, for the past 2 years, the hashtag #MeToo and hashtag Time's Up have dominated our national conversation. However, some believe it has only deepened the divide between men and women. Have these movements gone too far?
I don't think these movements have gone too far. What Me Too and Time's Up are about are making sure that we foster safe and inclusive workplaces in our country. As an attorney, that's exactly what I want to hear, and that's exactly what I want for this country. I think they're good movements.
Thank you, North Carolina.
The first woman to make it to the top 3 is North Carolina.
North Carolina, please join us. Here's your question. Millennials are often labeled as entitled, but they've also been called one of the most socially conscious generations in decades. What is one word you would use to describe your generation and why?
I would say that my generation is innovative. I'm standing here in Nevada, in the state that has the first majority female legislature in this entire country. Mine is the first generation to have that forward-looking mindset that has inclusivity, diversity, and strength and empowered women. I'm looking forward to continued progress with my generation.
Thank you, North Carolina.
You say you'll be down in 5. The smell of your perfume is floating down the stairs. You're fixing up your hair like you do. I know that I'll be a mess the second that I see you. You won't be surprised. It happens every time. It's nothing new.
Good luck to you both. And now, Miss USA 2019 is North Carolina.
Congratulations, North Carolina! Take your first walk as the new Miss USA! We had such a great time tonight. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'm in tears. I love this moment. Thank you so much, Lucy.
Great show.
Thank you to all the contestants. And so importantly, thank you to everybody at home watching. We love you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh my God! I have flowers and a crown. So strange, right?
Okay, let's go.
I should release it.
I'm not going in.
my hair journey. A few of you guys asked, so here it is. When I was a kid, I had curly hair, but as I got older, I started getting relaxers, straightened my hair a lot, bleached it, and it just progressively started falling out, had no curl pattern. When I got to college, I did the big chop, and I hated my hair so much, I wore it in a mohawk for like 2 months straight. Kept bleaching it, kept flat ironing it, I had no curl pattern. So I dyed my hair dark again and started wearing extensions and competing in pageants. But even then, my leave out was really damaged, you can see there. So I cut off all the damaged pieces, started trying some new different styles, even tried the bayang. It was not great, would not do again. But as I treated my hair nicer, it got longer and healthier, and I started to really like it instead of just tolerating it. So now even when I flat iron my hair, it's pretty long and thick. This is it when I was competing in a pageant. And this is it now. I stay away from bleaching, I barely flat iron it, and I just let my hair do its thing.
Thank you. I want you all to know, even though I travel all across the USA, I will always bleed garnet and black. Are y'all ready for this? All right, this side game, this side caught. In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Nia Imani Franklin, Miss America 2019.
Hey y'all, I'm Cheslie Kryst, Miss USA.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaylee Garris, Miss Teen USA 2019, and welcome to
Our Essence Uncovered!
When I was younger, I definitely straightened my hair all the time just because I went to a predominantly all-white school, so that was my normal, seeing girls with straight hair. And so I wanted to fit in as much as possible, but as I grew up, I wanted to stand out more than anything. That's me, right there.
It's okay to switch it up every now and then. Clearly, like, I love a good wig, but it's just awesome to just say, you know, I can look in the mirror and love myself for who I am and who God made me to be.
Business in the front, a little bit of party in the back.
The advice I would give other women about embracing their natural crowns is just be different.
I remember when I was in law school and I was competing in a moot court competition. Afterwards, one of the judges came up to me, and the only feedback that she had for me was, make sure that you wear a skirt next time, because the male judges prefer to see women in skirts, not in pants. Now, I'd worn pants because the courtroom was cold. It was freezing, and I didn't want to be shaking while I stood at the podium. But instead of critiquing me on my legal argument, what I'd spent months preparing for, this judge took it upon herself to tell me that I needed to wear a skirt. My blog is about making sure that women know the options that we have. We need to know that senior managers and other people who are deciding whether or not women should be promoted, whether or not women should get pay raises, and whether or not women should be judged the same as men do, we need to make sure that we're prepared for that judgment. You know, beyond that, women shouldn't be held to such strict standards. And women should have the same opportunities as men do, even if we wear a skirt, even if we decide on a pantsuit, even if we decide to wear a dress with a blazer or without one. That's staggering. And it's really important considering that women still don't make the same dollar to the dollar that men make. I don't think that comments about what women wear are going to go away. I think what's important is that if you're going to comment on a woman's clothing, hopefully you're making the same comments on men's clothing, and hopefully you're giving both of them substantive feedback on their work product. I think that women should have the opportunity to express themselves through the clothing that we wear. Now, there are still certain standards that we all have to abide by, right? Like, I can't wear a low-cut shirt to work, and nor can a man, because nobody wants to see your chest hair in the office. We need to make sure that women are able to see themselves in leadership positions, and in order to do that, we need to give them the opportunities. What these movements really are about are casting out people who make the workplace unsafe and unwelcoming and keep women from progressing and growing and improving. I do things other than showing up with a crown and sash on. And I think being a national title holder, I have the opportunity to show people that we have depth and beauty.
So again, welcome to my fabulous hometown, Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope you guys enjoyed the Southern hospitality here, and I hope you make another trip back. I hear that this is the first time that the BBBS National Conference has made its way to Charlotte, maybe even to North Carolina at all. So please come back. We love it here, and I'm just really proud to call it my hometown. I was really excited when I was asked to join the board of directors for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Carolinas. As Donna mentioned, I have been a little busy this month. I loved being able to represent North Carolina at the Miss USA competition. And from the start of my reign as Miss USA, I've been on several national television programs. I've hosted 2 major TV projects, taken part in a few photo shoots, and found just like a few hours to sleep here and there. But I'm certainly not complaining, and I don't want this fantastic dream to end. All that said, one of the most enjoyable parts of my time thus far is being able to be in front of people who make a difference and come together for a common cause. My reign is just getting started, and I've been asked to MC dozens of events and speak at a variety of functions. But I love meeting people, wonderful people, who also inspire me. I enjoy lending a helping hand to organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters that empower children in our communities. I also love giving back to Dress for Success, and was recently named a National Impact Ambassador for a great organization that empowers women in our communities. Now, beyond that, as Donna said, wearing a crown and sash wasn't always a daily part of my wardrobe. I was also a civil litigation attorney before I became Miss USA. And one of my passions was my pro bono work, where I worked to help reduce the sentences of people who were sentenced unjustly. No. So you can imagine that when I heard that you devoted time during this conference to focus on returning citizens, I was excited and even more proud to know that we'll be discussing this very important societal issue. Attending law school taught me about the power you wield as an attorney. People look to you for advice. They trust you with their secrets. They put their fate, their livelihood, and sometimes their lives in your hands. I became an attorney because I always loved to speak for people, and people trusted me to do that. And I had bright ideas about doing good for others. So you can imagine my surprise and dismay when I learned that our justice system doesn't always guarantee the fairness and good that I dreamt of. In fact, studies show that if you're a minority in this country or you are impoverished, you are more likely to be convicted of a crime and imprisoned than others. even though it is long past due to take a hard look at our justice system and reform it and figure out how it really affects people, change for the better can sometimes just be a helping hand. A hand for Alfred. Alfred is a pro bono client who Brittany Barnett from the Buried Alive Project and I work with. Alfred was convicted and given a mandatory life sentence without parole for a low-level federal drug crime. Today, he has spent 18 years in prison under the dark cloud of dying there. While in prison, Alfred made tremendous strides at rehabilitation, completed hundreds of hours of vocational training, and maintained a spotless disciplinary record. Thanks to recently enacted federal legislation called the First Step Act, Alfred will be released from prison by the end of this month, relief from the unjust, excessive sentence he received nearly 2 decades ago. Unfortunately, that relief did not come soon enough for Alfred to make it home in time to see his daughter graduate from high school in Winston-Salem a couple of weeks ago. Your helping hand won't give Alfred that stolen moment back. But you can help Alfred to get a job. You can build a community around Alfred that removes employment and housing reentry obstacles, a community that respects him and gives him a real chance of redemption and the opportunity to move past his mistakes and prove he can be a benefit to society. We need to shatter the stigma and help him to build his confidence, not break him down and brand him with the scarlet letter when it is our country's justice system that would have had him die in prison while others could afford to walk free. All of this is essential because Alfred's future affects the future of people like his daughter, who I'm sure would have benefited from having a supportive and loving father in her life while she grew up, or maybe even just at her high school graduation. Now that my next journey on this pageant trail is preparing for the 2019 Miss Universe competition later this year, I do look forward to continuing to use my voice to raise awareness of all the good work that each of you do, the helping hands you extend to those who need it. I'm proud to be a part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters community, and I'm glad to be looking in the faces of people who together make positive change. So thank you for all that you do in improving the lives of children in our community. Please.
Check out our very own Cheslie Kryst. She's the reigning Miss USA and will compete for the Miss Universe crown this Sunday. But right now, Cheslie's hanging with the woman she's hoping to replace.
Hey y'all, I'm Cheslie Kryst. I'm here at Extra's Levi's Times Square studio with Catriona Gray, Miss Universe.
Extra!
It's been almost a year since you were crowned Miss Universe. What are some of the highlights of your reign?
My homecoming that happened in the Philippines. It just brought me to tears because we represent our country. Yeah. And I think that's such an honor for young women like us to be able to do that. And of course, your turn's coming up.
I know, I still can't believe it.
Our reigning Miss USA, Cheslie, competing for the Miss Universe crown Sunday on Fox. Kicking off the week with the other contestants.
Look at my roommate slaying in this outfit right here. Oh my gosh.
The show being held at the all-new Tyler Perry Studios.
I'm so curious to see who the musical act would be. I'm hoping that we get someone like Usher or Sierra this year.
Oh my God, right, because it's in Atlanta. So what are your plans for after you're finished?
I want to go into business and I want to pursue my love of music, which I'm really excited about.
There has to be singing in there.
Yes.
Because you sing.
Yes, exactly.
Catriona, a YouTube sensation with over 2 million views for her song, We're In This Together. Her life after the crown starts Sunday night.
You are my favorite.
This was 0708.
This is a great picture.
Yeah, I love this picture.
Adorable.
And this is in Pearl Hollow?
No, this is high school. High school. Yeah, that's like Fort Mill High, because this is Fort Mill High too, 0708.
Wow.
You are my favorite shade of rose, a flower bed on my favorite stones. I love the ground where your roots have grown. You're my favorite place.
A tribute to great women throughout American history. USA's costume is made from denim that's been covered in gold. It features large wings as a nod to the country's national bird. With Maya Angelou and Lady Liberty too, it's USA. Before winning her national title, USA worked as an attorney practicing complex civil litigation. This 28-year-old currently works as a correspondent for an entertainment news outlet and runs a fashion blog. USA! 28-year-old USA overcame stress fractures in her spine to become a Division I track star. She's an ambassador for Dress for Success, an organization that empowers women to achieve economic independence. USA!
One spot left from this region, and the contestant about to take one step closer to the crown is USA! Okay, that's enough. That's too much. Yes, we got it. Got it. You just wasn't gonna let Puerto Rico outdo you, huh? It's all the same. It's all part of the same thing. Well, how are you?
I'm good. I just saw my mom. She got my face on a stick, so that was pretty cool.
All right, here's your question. I hear you spent some time in front of the camera as a TV correspondent. Any tips for me tonight?
Yes. So if you get nervous, I would say just take a deep breath and slow down. If you have notes, make sure you look over your notes beforehand. And most importantly, I usually pin my hair back so it's out of my face, but I don't think you'll have that problem.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Girl, you better tell these jokes. I ain't got no hair to pin out my face. You ain't got no mustache, so we even. That's a great answer. Thank you very much, USA. USA.
I almost failed kindergarten. I was such a quiet child, my teachers didn't know if I was ready for first grade. I have since found my voice and used it to earn 3 degrees, a job as an extra TV correspondent, and a role as an impact ambassador for global nonprofit Dress for Success. No matter where you start, the possibilities for your future are limited only by the depths of your own imagination.
Starting with USA.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Woo, child, tired of the foolish, gone dust your shoulders off.
I feel incredibly powerful in a swimsuit, but I also feel
first USA.
My dress is all about being different because I'm different.
It took some time to get used to that, and I've grown to be comfortable with being unique, and that's exactly what my gown says.
In 2019, 4 of the major beauty pageants simultaneously awarded the top prize to a black woman.
Well, congratulations, first of all. For the first time in the U.S., all 4, talking about Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and Miss Universe, all black everything.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a part of this history-making moment?
It feels amazing.
I think it's such a great move forward as the world and as a society to say, look, women who were in the past never had opportunities to do things like this are now here.
I think there are times where I am disappointed because people will sometimes comment on our social media and they'll say, why are we talking about your race? Like, you guys are just 4 amazing women. I'm like, yes, we're 4 amazing women. But there was a time when we literally could not win.
In fact, for decades, this moment wasn't even possible. For its first 30 years, black women were not allowed to compete in the Miss America pageant.
For young black girls, at what point and what will it take for them to feel and identify their skin and their hair, as you mentioned in your speech, as beautiful?
I mean, from my messages, I don't know what messages you guys have been receiving, but just from mothers who say, my 4-year-old daughter was so excited to see you on stage and she kept on screaming, you look like me, she looks like me. And I think it is breaking those boundaries.
Curious if you ever had any pressure to wear artificial hair or straighten your hair.
So I wanted to challenge that and to say this hair can be beautiful too, because it's how I was born to look. I did get pressures too, but and I didn't want to fall into that pressure. I wanted to look like this 100%, my authentic self.
The Twitterverse erupting with enthusiasm, including congratulatory posts by Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama, complete with the hashtag Black Girl Magic. Little girls like 8-year-old Milo clearly seeing themselves reflected in these faces.
I want your advice on how to become a strong leader.
Yeah.
I would say it takes time, but find yourself first, because you have to know who you are to be able to lead others.
I think we are afraid to take up space. We are afraid to be amazing. And as soon as that fear leaves us and we start building that confidence of being unapologetic, and then I think we can get to that space of having a lot of women leaders who are just fearless.
All right, now lastly, we're gonna have a little fun, and we'll call it raining rapid fire. I'll say a topic, and you just give me one word. Black Girl Magic.
Black Girl Magic, us.
I'd say authentic.
Wow. I'd say magical.
The moment you were crowned.
Out of body experience, that's the whole sentence.
Wow.
Disbelief.
This history-making moment right now for the 4 of you.
Like ungraspable, because I can't fully wrap my head around it.
Profound.
Necessary.
Look, guys, I get I'm with my
Why is it important for us to celebrate Black History Month?
Oh, I think it's important because there are so many Black people who have contributed in extraordinary ways to society. And I think that there are times where history has shown that it has forgotten that. I think we saw in the civil rights movement when Black people had to demand the same rights as other people, that we just weren't viewed as having the same value as other people were. So I think Black History Month is important so that we know, Black people, we're here, we're not like sucking from society, we're actually giving back to it constantly by our achievements. Over the years. One of the reasons it is important for people to see the 3 of us today is because I think it helps to destroy the idea of tokenism. And I think that there are many times when not just Black women, but women in general find ourselves the only one who looks like us in a space, whether that's, in a boardroom or in a courtroom. Or on a trading floor. There's so often that you only see like one woman or one Black woman. And so I think it ends up breeding this idea that there's only ever going to be space for one of us. And, so people end up, rather than building each other up, we end up fighting against each other or feeling like we're competing against each other because you genuinely think like we only get one, So I think that, one of the reasons it's important for the 3 of us to be here, or the 5 of us when we had like Nia and Miss World together, is that, I think it demonstrated there doesn't just have to be one at a time. We can have 5 out of 5, in fact. And it's important for us to be supportive of each other so that we can have more moments like that, not just in pageantry, but in business and in law and in other spaces. And I think there's that proverb from, I don't know, years ago where somebody said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so I think it's important for us to remember that we can support each other and we can all be successful all at once. Well, and I think even beyond that, I think it's important for people to see that, Black is more than one color. Because I think there are many people, especially in the United States, we deal with colorism here a ton. And there's so many people who think that, light-skinned girls are pretty and dark-skinned girls belong in a different space. And I think that your win especially demonstrated to people that, there are tons of different colors and we are all beautiful. I remember watching Miss USA's win. We talk about how many Black Miss USA's have won, and then you look at the shades of color that they are, and you see Kenya Moore was a darker skinned Miss USA, that Deshauna Barber was a darker skinned Miss USA. And it's so important for people to see that you don't have to be just fair skinned to be beautiful. That a darker shade of Black is just as beautiful as every other shade there is. I think you pointed out an important note in that there are a lot of people who talk about acting Black or acting white, and what I think people are talking about are the stereotypes that they hold for Black and white people. And I think it's unfortunate that as Black people, many a times you don't have the luxury of being an independent person. You feel like you constantly are representing the entire Black race, and people are asking you questions about how do Black people feel about this? I'm I don't know. I know how I feel about this. And so I think that it's important for people to start to learn that Black people are so multifaceted and multidimensional, and we don't all think the same, we don't all act the same, we don't all like the same type of music or food. We are very diverse.
First time I feel seen around the world, Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss America, Miss Teen USA, all Black women, they look like me, they look like my sisters, they look like my family. Someone said, what a time to be alive. All major pageant titles are dripping in melanin. Black girl magic. I love that. And you know what, Cheslie, I started to think about it and I said, you know what, I get the self-pride. I get it, being a Black woman and seeing this. But all women should feel a sense of pride when they see you on that stage. Because for each of you, at some point, someone told you there was no room for you, and you found room. How did you, I guess, muster up the courage to beat the odds, to be the underdog who becomes the queen?
Well, I think for me, it was important to see examples in my community. My mom, she was Mrs. North Carolina US 2002. So she won this title for married women when I was 10 or 11 years old. And so I remember being a child and seeing her example. And I think seeing that example made it possible for me because I knew even if I'm a Black woman, even if there haven't been that many Black women to win this title, my mom did it and I can too.
Yeah.
And she was actually the second Black woman to be Mrs. North Carolina.
I love your bragging on mom.
I love her.
I love it. I love that.
It was seeing that example that was so important to me, and seeing that example that made things very possible.
And it went like
Hey guys, I've been looking through some old pictures of me when I was little, and there are just so many things that I wish I could have told my younger self. Let's get started. Okay, so for this picture, this is Halloween. That's my older sister, me in the middle, and then one of my younger brothers. We couldn't always afford to buy Halloween costumes when I was younger, and so we were always just trying to like make costumes from whatever we had laying around the house. My sister is wearing one of my mom's sash and crown from when she was like Miss Petite, North Carolina. And then I was actually wearing my sister's cheerleading uniform because I was a cheerleader. And then Asa is the only one who got stuff that we bought that year. It's just funny looking at this picture. I eventually became a cheerleader, which is cool. I was a cheerleader when I was in high school, and then I was a pageant queen, so I got my sister's costume. I have not been a superhero yet. Maybe at one point in time, I'll play a superhero in a movie or something. That'd be pretty cool. We're feeding ducks. Apparently this is good, these are good duck feeding outfits. You can tell that even then I was fancy. I mean, look at those feathered slippers. Look at them. Style, class, grace, and poise, all wrapped into one item of footwear. Just saying. I love this picture. This is me and my mom. I think I was in 5th grade because they would do like a big field trip every year for 4th graders and 5th graders. We got to do this trip to the governor's mansion in Raleigh. And I just remember being so nervous because I was always a nerd. I was always a nerdy kid. I didn't have that many friends. I was always an introvert. I still am introverted. And so I just remember being nervous going to this trip because I was like, none of the kids are gonna sit with me. Nobody's gonna talk to me. And so I somehow convinced my mom to take a day off of work so that she could be one of the chaperones for our trip. And what's funny is like, not much has changed. I'm still an introvert. I still lean on my mom a lot. We're still really, really just close friends. And she still comes to events and stuff whenever I need her. Love you, Mom. Okay. All right, so I wasn't technically like an adolescent in this picture. I was still in law school. So I think this is my first year of law school. I must have been like 22 or something. And I still had a gap in my teeth. And I wish I would have gotten more used to and appreciated how different it made me and how unique it was and how pretty it was, and maybe not gotten rid of it. It was just in a moment of conformity where I needed to look like other people. Nowadays, I'm happy being unique, but there are still moments in time where I'm just like, I need to look the same as everybody else. It's sort of like it's a journey, not a destination. The mohawk. So I had really long hair for most of my life, and then when I got to high school, I was flat ironing my hair a lot, I was dyeing it a lot, and it just started to break off. It was really unhealthy. And I also got chemical relaxers to straighten my hair. And my sister did what's called the big chop, when you'll have a stylist cut off all of the relaxed, chemically straightened parts of your hair. So she did that. And I remember crying in my sister's chair because my hair was only like this long. I was so unhappy with how I looked. For like, I don't know, 2 months straight, I would not wear my hair out. And so my sister, she braided the sides back, and I wore it in a mohawk like this for a really long time. Whew! Another one of my favorite pictures, that's my dad holding me. We were at a wedding. I do remember that dress, and I do remember that little pink hair bow because I just remember every time my mom would like put me in that dress and that hair bow, I felt so cute and pretty and like I could dance with anybody. It's amazing. I think this must have been one of the times when I forgot how to smile, because who sticks their tongue out like that for a picture? You can see my little curls though. I always said curls. Okay, this was, I think, my senior year in high school. In this picture, I was so mad. I remember this specific meet, it's called Coach's Classic, and I wanted to get a medal. I didn't even necessarily want to win. The top 3 placers get medals. And every year that I would go to this meet, I would get a ribbon. And so my senior year, my coach came to me and was like, we're not going to Coach's Classic this year because it falls during spring break. And I was like, but I want to go to Coach's Classic. I want to get a medal. And literally left spring break early to drive back so that I could go to this meet and do well and get a medal. I was in 4th place. So this is them, this is me on the podium, waiting for my little ribbon and not my medal. I was just so disappointed. Anyways, was just a happy kid. I was always happy. I always had so much energy. I don't know where that energy went because I like have no energy anymore. Every day I'm just tired. I think it's just part of being old. Like, you know, the closer you get to 30, the less energy you have every day. But this was like, I had a lot of energy. I love this picture. So I used to compete every year in my high school pageant. Each grade had an award, and then their first runners-up who were standing in the back, and then there was Miss Fort Mill High that was like the overall title. But I won Miss Fort Mill High. I loved that crown, and I was really happy that I won because I just wasn't expecting to win. I wish when I was in high school I would have told myself to care less about sort of arbitrary things. I didn't focus as much on really finding out who I was and finding out what really made me happy. I think if I spent more time doing that, I would have felt a lot less lost or confused or insecure when I was younger. I hope you guys enjoy looking at all my old pictures. It was like a little walk down memory lane. Drop down in the comments, like, what are some things that you would have told your younger self? See ya. Okay, so in the actual intro for the show, when each of us are walking forward and they're saying our names, I was just thinking, like, be as fun as possible. Look at the camera, like this might be the only moment that you have. Just really enjoy it, because I didn't think that my interview went that great earlier in the week. And so I really just wanted to make it to top 15, and I knew that if I didn't do that, like this was gonna be my only moment. So I was like, swish that dress around, do your thing, girl, you got it. When I was announced, when my state was called, and I made it into the top 15, the relief that I felt was, it's indescribable, because I was announced closer to the end, so I think we'd already been through like at least one commercial break, maybe two. And at that moment I was thinking, God, please, I do not want to have gone through all of this, you know, preparation and stress and just the amount of money that I spent on my wardrobe and the time away from work. I was like, please just at least let me make it to top 15. Genuine joy and relief that you're seeing in my face. Okay, for swimsuit, I was just thinking, swish your hips, have fun. And I just knew there was gonna be a moment when I was gonna be able to whip my little sarong off and, you know, hold it in my hand. And that never happened because I was struggling to take that sarong off. And in my mind, I was going crazy like, oh my God, get the sarong off, get the sarong off, oh my God. And it's so sad because I practiced with that sarong, and I tied it just right so that I could take it off when I got on stage, and just like, all went up in flames when I got on stage. But eventually I got it off, and I was like, let me just whip this thing around. Oh my God! Then I made it. I remember, I think at one point in time I was standing there thinking like, dang, do you think they're really not gonna advance me because they couldn't get the sarong off? And then they called my state, and I was like, no, they are! I have no memories from gown competition. I think I just started to blank by then. I was just like, oh, I've made it, and I'm happy. I wish I could tell you what was going through my mind, but I don't remember. All I remember was going to the end of the runway, and there's a moment in, I think it's Miss Universe 2015, where Pia Wurtzbach, who goes on to win, obviously, she trips in her gown during the evening gown competition, and at the end of the runway, after she trips in her gown and sort of regathers herself, she does this little turn, and in the turn you see her go like, and it's so at the end of the runway when I was doing my evening gown, that's all I was thinking about. It's like, dude, little Pia face. And so me, when I put my hand on my head and I went like this, like in my mind, I was like, I'm Pia Wurtzbach. All right, they're calling me into the top 5, and I can't really tell you what was going through my head. I just remember excitement and just being awestruck. That moment for me was just exciting because I had no idea. You really don't, as a contestant, you have no idea what the judges are thinking. And you're just sort of holding your breath, hoping that you can advance forward, that they saw something in you, in interview, or, you know, in your video package, or in your stage presence earlier in the competition. And so I was just really, really glad. Okay, so this is so stressful. I can feel the butterflies back in my stomach again. This moment, when we're getting called to do our top 5 questions, I think there were some people who went before me. I can't remember who or how many, but I remember listening to at least one question before I went. And everybody was like knocking their questions out of the park. I remember feeling a little intimidated for a moment, but I just remember thinking, like, focus. You don't have time to think about what the contestants are saying, what anybody else thinks. You know, me and my mom were practicing questions the morning of the competition, and I remember her telling me, like, slow down, and if you need to take a beat, take a moment after the question comes out of whoever's mouth to think about it, just do that so that you can gather your thoughts. And so I just listened to her ask me the question as intently as I could, and then I stopped and thought about it, and then I answered. Did I forget where I was going? I did. Oh no, I didn't. I was just walking. And then I got called into the top 3. Fun fact, I was so glad that I was called first into the top 3 because that meant that I did not have to wear the little headphone things. And I was very concerned about wearing the headphones because my hair is so big, the headphones would not fit around the top. I was just confident that the headphones were not going to fit around the top of my head. Another tough question. These were good questions. I don't know who made up this last question. It was a good question. I was not anticipating this at all. This was not something, I think the first, the Me Too question was certainly something that me and my coaches had thought of and prepared for, to talk about feminism and Me Too and what was happening in our society. To talk about millennials, I'd never prepared for that. Okay, as soon as she was talking about generations and progress, all I thought about was the visit we had just made to the Nevada State Legislature. We had just visited several days before. And I remember it being such an impactful visit to me because there was so much female leadership. And I remember being there and looking around and thinking, wow, there are more women than men. This is so surreal. We've made such great progress and it's continuing to happen in our generation. So while I'm standing there, waiting, waiting for them to announce who's gonna be the next Miss USA, I remember just saying a prayer for me and Allie, and just, praying that God would watch over us and, would help the next Miss USA. And so we stood there and it just seemed like forever. In my head I was saying, like, North Carolina. And we said North Carolina, it was great. I just remember thinking, like, oh my gosh. And I hate that, like, there are no reaction shots of me hearing my state because I didn't turn to the camera. I think I was just so in the moment. And that was a cool moment, winning. If you've ever dreamed of winning the lottery or dreamed of winning a huge pageant and like sort of walked through or daydreamed about that moment, I promise you actually winning is exactly what you dream it is. It was a fun time for me and it's something that, I loved doing. I wish I could go back, like I said, and just do it all over again. Just the night of the pageant, because that's the only fun time. The other times for me are just mostly stressful because I was just stressed and waiting, like, if this day could just come, if this day could, and then it came and I was like, oh my God, no, now it's fun. But my advice to the USA 2020 contestants and other women competing is just prepare as much as you can beforehand, so that during the day of your actual competition, you go into autopilot and you get to just enjoy the moment because you've prepared. You don't have to stress anymore. You don't have to worry because you have done as much as you can to prepare for that moment. And that is a really, really strong and confident feeling. So best of luck.
Smile, it's free, and tomorrow may not be guaranteed. When the seasons change, it may not be easy, but I know.
The city of Memphis played an important role in the civil rights movement. It is also rich with history and milestones for Black people. The National Civil Rights Museum sits in Memphis. You can visit it and see how civil rights have developed in this country and how we need to continue to push the movement forward. Black Lives Matter is about recognizing that Black people are not treated the same simply because they are Black, and that is wrong. That idea, understanding what Black Lives Matter stands for, is essential.
Black Lives Matter! To say Black Lives Matter recognizes and admits that there is social and racial inequality and injustice that is happening in our country.
My goal is to see a nation where each and every one of us and my fellow Black brothers and sisters can live in a country that truly celebrates liberty and justice for all.
In order to see lasting change, we need all of us to contribute to making that change. And being a Black woman in this moment is an incredible feeling.
As Miss USA 2019, I was part of a groundbreaking group of queens of color, the first practicing attorney to serve as Miss USA, and the oldest and longest reigning title holder. There were award shows, red carpets, keynote addresses, and TV appearances. I led 72,000 Gamecock fans in a cheer, interviewed Oprah, signed with WME, worked with Dress for Success, and earned a job with Extra, Extra. I owe these blessings to God's supreme plan. Thank you to my friends and family, my mom especially, the Miss Universe organization, Endeavor, and all of my pageant sisters. To the next woman to carry the torch. Your crowning moment will be like the start of the Olympic marathon. You'll have a long way to go, but you're in good company and off to a great start.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the beautiful Cheslie Kryst as she takes her final walk as Miss USA.
Cheslie, you didn't see this in rehearsals, but we have a little surprise for you. Unfortunately, most of your friends and colleagues couldn't be in attendance tonight due to the pandemic.
That's right, and so they wanted to surprise you with a virtual message. Check it out.
Hey, Cheslie! Congratulations on completing what has to be the longest Miss USA reign in our history.
You did it with so much grace and so much poise and intelligence. And I'm so happy to have been able to witness that.
You're such a strong, powerful, beautiful woman that I will look up to for the rest of my life.
I will never forget the first time I met you, and I knew you were special because I could see your abs through your dress.
Your stories of making your way as a young African-American woman in the practice of law were moving.
You have kicked down doors that no Miss USA in history has had the ability to walk through.
I have no doubt that you're going to continue advocating for those who don't have a voice for themselves.
You are going to move on to do some big, amazing things. It has been quite a year and a half, and I'm only sorry that collectively we cannot all be standing at the edge of the stage and give you a well-deserved standing ovation.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Cheslie, you are exceptional, and you will never, ever, ever be replaced. Rock star.
Great. I love Beyonce.
I wanna leave my footprints on the sands of time. Know there was something that meant something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I'll leave no regrets. Leave something to remember so they won't forget I was here.